Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Father Ted Talks. Today, I wanted to speak about a topic that often comes up and is very, very popular in our modern times, and that is the idea of happiness and holiness. What are the difference between the two? Because in modern society today, a lot of people focus on happiness. Indeed, pretty much almost everything that surrounds us, both the internet, social media, on the internet, the TV, movies, all these advertising, all the products that are out there, the conveniences that we kind of enjoy, especially here in the Western world, they are all based around the idea of happiness. Making people happy, making people comfortable, making people, enjoying their life, right, through the different conveniences that we have. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about how this idea of happiness can be very, very dangerous for the Orthodox lifestyle. Because really, from our point of view, and if we look at the words of Christ and we look at his life and his example, the goal of human life has nothing to do with happiness, but rather it has to do with holiness. And of course, those two things can be connected, right? To be holy, which means to be like God, because the Greek word for holy is aios, and aios, quite literally translated, means, not of this world or not of this earth, aios, right? Away from the earth. And this is one of the terms that we use to describe God. And many people, when they follow the words of Christ, they follow the life of Christ, and they truly become true Christians, they emulate this type of lifestyle. They too become holy by grace, by God's grace. And so we call saints in Greek, o aios, iaia, which basically means the holy ones, right? And this is not to just confuse them with God, but rather to say that a saint is a person who becomes like God, who achieves theosis, right? Who achieves divination, the idea that someone can become like God through his grace. And so our goal is to become holy. And becoming holy takes a lot of work. It's very, very difficult. Like anything in life, if one wants to master something, a skill, to master some type of career or some type of knowledge, it takes many, many, many hours of practice. What is the common saying? That to become a master of something, you need to dedicate a minimum of 10,000 hours of practice to become a master at that thing. And so in the spiritual life, we would say that this is, of course, applicable, that it takes many, many hours and many, many years of spiritual struggle to become holy, to try to master our spirituality. And of course, this is something that is eternal, something that never ends. There's not a point where we are completely holy or we are perfect in any way, but rather because God is infinite, our growth towards God is always infinite as well. However, it does take a lot of struggle, and it also takes a lot of sacrifice, because as we see, and especially now with Great Lent coming soon and the great feast of Pascha, we will see that the ultimate expression of love, the ultimate expression of loving other people more than we love ourselves, is self-sacrifice. It's Christ on the cross. And that involves a lot of suffering, a lot of sacrifice for other human beings, not only for our immediate family, but also for the greater community. And so a lot of times, people don't associate holiness with the goal of their lives. They try to be happy. And of course, happiness is an emotion. It's something that we feel sometimes, and then other times we don't feel happy. There are days where we're up, and there's days that we're down. There are days where we're depressed. There's days when we're sick. There's days that we feel healthy. And so happiness is simply an emotion that is transient, right? It moves. It comes and it goes, and it can't be the ultimate goal in life, because if we're always searching for happiness, then we will avoid any type of suffering. We will avoid any type of difficulty, any type of struggle, so that we can just feel good. And that will make us actually weaker. We know that in life, if the people who struggle, the people who kind of have the courage to face life struggles and life's difficulties, become better for it and overcome. And so you can't always be happy, right? Even if you try to be. But if somebody embraces a higher value, a higher, axiom, which is holiness, then we know that if this is our goal, we are willing to kind of struggle through anything and overcome anything so that we can achieve a certain holiness, a certain communion with God. And so this is very, very difficult, because in our modern age, it is not something that is really easily advertised, especially when people want to become Christians, or Orthodox Christians, for example. When they come to the church for the first time, we have an obligation to be honest with them and to tell them, yes, the glory of God is amazing, and the love of God is amazing, and the ultimate goal for us is an amazing goal, an amazing vision for our lives. But to start this journey and to take this journey is going to be very, very difficult. This is why Christ, what does he say? Whoever would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. Not something that you can usually put on a poster, right? Because it's telling people that basically we have to deny ourselves, deny our own selfishness, deny our own needs and our own wants, and to take up our cross, which means to suffer, to carry the burden of the world, the sin of the world on our shoulders, just like Christ does, and to follow him where? To his crucifixion and then to his resurrection. And this is not something that is very enticing for many people when they really, really think about it. They would rather live a life of comfort, live a life of luxury without having to sacrifice too much, or only sacrifice just a little, enough to make us feel better about ourselves, and that's it. But the true Christian, the person who truly loves, is the one who is willing to sacrifice everything for their fellow human beings, for their spouses, for their children, for their friends, for the greater community as a whole, and understands that the goal and actually the reward will come later at the end, after we leave this physical life and we are with the Lord in heaven. And so being holy, I would say, is a good goal. Being happy is a very shallow and not a very, very good goal. And the two kind of visions and the two kind of destinations take completely different roads. And sometimes we as Christians, we bounce back and forth between the two. Sometimes we just want to be happy. We just want to be lazy. We just want to be, enjoy luxury and enjoy ourselves. A lot of times we do this on vacation. We think we take a break from being Christians and a break from being good people and just kind of go and overindulge in food and entertainment and other things because we just kind of want to break from the constant struggle. But when that happens, it's good to always pull ourselves back and to understand that is the struggle that is the most important thing, because this bears much greater fruit in the long run. And so for us, I would say that being holy is much more important than being happy. And times like Great Lent, like also the Advent fast before Christmas, like the Dormition fast in the summer, these kind of intense spiritual times where we do spiritual battle and we engage in a more fervent way with our spirituality through fasting and almsgiving and going to church more. It reminds us of this battle and why we do it and why it's so important to do it, and our ultimate goal to be holy like God and not necessarily always to be happy. Joy will come at the end if we attain that beautiful holiness that the saints have attained and that Christ emulates in his life. And so this is what I want to remind everybody, that we want to be holy, not happy. Sometimes happiness can come and it can coincide with our holiness, but not always. And that's okay, as long as we keep our eye on the prize, our eye on the goal, and we move forward with faith and love and hope in Christ. Till next time, take care and God bless.